Wow, 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 wow.
Wow, wow, wow. What is up,
Wow,
buds?
wow.
Welcome to another shorty, another
It's a
week.
shorty, y'all.
Uh, Today we're talking about Crawler by Idols, the new Idols that record that came out the day that we're recording.
Oh my god, yeah. Like we literally just got done listening to it. Not 30 seconds ago.
Not but 30 seconds ago, and you've heard a couple of the singles they've been releasing, but those singles haven't been on this album. Is that right?
Well, there's only one single that they released that didn't end up on this record, and I thought it would, and it was a song that they did with Gang of Four, which I thought was
Oh,
pretty
wow.
fucking crazy. Yeah,
I haven't heard of those guys in a while.
I know. And yeah, really really cool that they did that song. But no, they released a Beachland Ballroom, and man, I want to say at least one other song, maybe Car Crash before the album came out, but man, I went into this wanting to hear something new from Idols, and I fucking got it.
I would say this is definitely a step in a new direction.
Yeah, they incorporated a lot of different musical styles on this record, and I think nailed all of them.
Yeah, and I thought my favorite songs on this one would be the ones that would inevitably like go the hardest and have the most rock and
Right.
hard rock stuff, but that is not the case on this one. Not
It's
at all.
kind of the same for me, surprisingly, man. It started out, in the beginning, like the wheel, the second song is very, oh my God, they have that super deep guitar and bass during the chorus, and it's just brutal and heavy and
Yeah, it's very
loud.
like it's got that kind of swing groove, kind of Queens of the Stone Age feel to it.
Super, super. Like, and the song before it, MTT 420RR, that was kind of a weird intro song. Like you said, it was kind of like Colossus style from Joy as an Act of Resistance, where it was kind of slow and a little like not heavy, not aggressive, and then all of a sudden the wheel happens, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
that's what this album's gonna be like.
I mean, that whole song, that first song was just made to build up tension and kind of set the vibe of this record. We're going to have kind of weird instrumentation throughout this thing. We're
Yeah.
going to have this mood. We have some synths. So we're not like, it's not like they were ever much of a traditional band in the first place, but I feel like, especially on this record, they are definitely using their guitars way in the background to set the mood.
Yeah, I mean, they've always had those. I love those, like, I don't know if they dive bombs or whatever, where it's like bow, bow. Like they've done that a lot in their music, like previous to this, but they still, like, throughout this record did a really good job of just having the guitar set, like you said, a mood. Like the guitar sets a mood, and it's just can get brutal and heavy, but there's not a lot of riffage on this record.
Yeah, I'd say the lead instrument of this album is the bass, very closely followed by the drums. And that's
Oh yeah,
like kind of usually what they're doing. They're usually kind of have the bass front and center with the guitars kind
yeah,
of coming in, and the drums like as usual,
really
like
fuzzy bass,
really fuzzy bass, big punchy drums. He's usually like on the toms.
huge drums.
You know?
Yeah, dude, huge drums. I loved the drums on this whole album, and for some reason they stood out a little bit more than they have in their previous records.
Yeah.
On this record, to me,
Well, in my opinion, this record is probably their best produced one so far.
it's huge. It feels huge, and they were trying new stuff on this record, and it just the hugeness. It's like the production is like cavernous,
Yeah,
and it
right.
gives this epic sound to every single song, even the ones that, I mean, they almost had a fucking rap song on this record.
Car Crash was kind of the first instance of it was like a rap feel, especially in the vocals, but
Definitely.
you couldn't really, like, if you told someone it was a rap song, they would look at you with a blank stare. And
True, but think like, oh man, the way I could think about it in my head was it sounds like Rage Against the Machine doing a noise rap song.
but like a very, like, not noisy, but like
No,
it's
not
got
noisy, but
noise there. Like it's
heavy and loud, super distorted vocals, but he is rapping essentially on that song.
yeah, yeah.
And then you have
he's got
like
a flow.
Beachland. Yeah, then you have Beachland Ballroom that is him, Joe Talbot, the singer. Man, he really impressed me on this album, but on Beachland Ballroom, his voice is incredible.
Yeah, he's done a lot of singing on this album, and he still kind of has that like bar fight, drunk, grungy kind of
Yeah.
grit in his voice.
I
Uh,
feel like there's nothing he can do about that. As long as he sounds as British as he sounds, he's always going to sound like just a drunken Brit wants that, a soccer hooligan or something.
are they British? I thought they were like from Ireland or something.
Oh fuck, are they from Ireland?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
It says British. It says British.
Okay,
Yeah,
but where?
thank God. They're from Bristol. They're from Bristol, England.
Bristol, England.
Yeah, this guy has a thick with two C's accent.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I love his voice. And yeah, man, he next to the, like we already said, the drums, the production, everything is pretty top notch on this record. Joe's voice really, really impressed me on this album. He's always sounded cool.
Right.
He's already been great because of this. He's super aggressive and he has really good lyrics that are sometimes completely on the nose, but then, other times really metaphorical and talking about something in a really roundabout way.
Yeah.
Almost funny sometimes.
He's always put a lot of thought into his vocals and his lyrics, and I've always appreciated that.
I really
It's kind of made
appreciate
them
it.
what they are, really.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, everyone is what makes everyone in the band is what makes the band great
Right.
with Idols. And yeah, man, I mean, he really showed his range on this record, I feel, with not just actually being able to sing and sounding really cool. I can see him coming out with, a electro record after this one or something. Like just him, I can see him doing solo stuff after hearing this record. But he really, on songs like Beachland Ballroom and When the Lights Come On and Progress,
Progress, especially.
really good, man. And he has really dark lyrics and really aggressive emotional delivery. And this whole album seems like it's kind of this air of, recovery or sobriety or a journey to recovery. And
Yeah, for sure.
he's nailing it. He's nailing it. Like the mood and the lyrics and the, just he really brought it on this record. And I would say that he impressed me the most on this album.
Yeah, the album's called Crawler.
Yeah.
Is it on Crawl where he's like, I'm a crawler and that fits me just fine.
Yeah. Talking about how, he's always like on his knees on porcelain,
Yeah.
and he doesn't find any, he feels magna fucking feek. Like he feels, and I feel fucking great.
He's
Yeah.
like kind of crawling to maybe he's trying to crawl to sobriety, or maybe the drugs he's
Right.
on just make him unable to stand. Maybe it could be interpreted both ways. Maybe I'm just being a little stupid.
No, I think it is both. I think it's him struggling with sobriety and seeking it, and he said in interviews before that he's used the guitarist in the band also has been sober for years and years and years, and Joe sees him as like an inspiration, and he's just like, man, I just keep looking to him, like especially when we're on tour and there's all these temptations around. He's like, but no one's perfect, so it does kind of sound like he bounces back and forth, man, and
Right.
he really expressed it. But I mean, there's songs produced by Kenny fucking Beats on this album.
Yeah.
Like if that doesn't tell you enough of how different this record's gonna be.
And it's I don't know. I don't know if like what other producers are on this record. But
Yeah, good question.
it does sound like they had a couple different people come in and give their input. From
Yeah,
how different
it's-
some of these songs sound from one another.
Definitely. I mean, and they still have the throwback Idols really good, just
Oh,
plotting,
yeah, for sure.
brooding, like really heavy choruses, screaming. Like they still did that on this record, but the mixing in of all the different, very post-punk song, like When the Lights Come On, and Progress was so different. I couldn't believe that Progress was an Idol song when we were listening to it.
Right. Like you wouldn't imagine it. You were saying it was kind of like a Kid Cudi song?
Yeah, it was almost this pop, hip hop song that just had these really dreamy, big guitars at times, and they were just building it up, and the melody was so catchy.
Yeah, it was kind of a mantra. He was kind of doing the same like 8 lines over and over again. I don't know where you get Kid
Right.
Cudi from.
I don't
But
know, man.
I-
I always try and find associations, and I'm usually off. But
It
there's
does it does sound like something that would be kind of in the modern zeitgeist for some reason. And I
Yes.
love the kind of jittery guitars and the glitchy bass that was on it.
Yeah.
It was very trancy. There were a lot of vocals. It was a super cool song.
yeah, man. That was one of my choice nugs.
Mine as well. Progress.
It really, man. There was how many times while we were listening to it did I just have to exclaim, "This is so cool! Wow, this is really cool, man! This is so cool!" Like it's the whole song builds really well, and it has this great, again, this great melody. This really so different for Idols, and I would say probably the most different song on the record, and really stood out because of that.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say between that and Beachland and
Yeah.
maybe Car Crash are probably the most
Yes.
different from anything they did, because Beachland was kind of a waltzy, kind of like very well produced. That was the one that was co-produced by Kenny Beats.
There were several that were co-produced by him.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of them.
Yeah, that's one of them for sure. Yeah. Those 3 songs definitely stand out. This Progress was co-produced by Kenny.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I feel like you can hear the influence, right? How catchy it is. And it seems like Kenny understands their music, because he's given them different sounding songs, and like obviously guided them in a way that something that they haven't really done before, but it works so well, and they pull it off so well.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Kenny Beats has done, like, he did some stuff on Ultramono with them as well.
Did he really?
I think so, yeah.
Damn, dude. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
So it looks like they've been together for a while. In any case, such an interesting song, Progress. What was your
So
your
cool.
second nug?
Oh man, there's literally not one song on this record I didn't like. So picking the choice nugs was hard, but it was the other one that was so different for them, and it was Car Crash.
Dude.
No way.
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
Best friends.
I mean, how can you not love it? The drums are super, just bang, boom. on that one.
Huge, punchy, loud drums. That bass note that they just play over and over and over again. That just builds this tension throughout the whole song, and it's very Rage Against the Machine-y to me.
Yeah, the filtered vocals are so cool throughout the whole thing, and how they get
So cool.
like more and more distorted throughout the song, I believe.
Yeah, they definitely do. And it adds so much to it, and it's just like Joe's delivery gets more intense as the song goes and as it builds, and they build it up several times, so they kind of like ramp it up, and then bring it back down. Like after like a minute and a half, and then ramp it up,
Right.
and it's man, it's
And I believe there's a moment in there where it does kind of explode, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's like around 3 minutes and 15 seconds or something, and
yeah, that outro is one of the best parts of the song.
yeah, such a cool explosion of noise.
Yeah, and a guitar just like it's just like this siren, and that's another like more ragey, his like octaver thing or whatever. He just does the octaves up and down, and that's like Tom Morello's bread and butter.
Yep.
Idols was like, we got that. We can do that. It was so cool, man. Joe is like almost legitimately rapping on this song, and it's so different and impressive and ballsy.
It doesn't at all seem like he's trying to copy like modern rappers or anything.
No.
It's almost like he just stumbled upon making like a rap song.
Yeah, it was he's there's several songs on this record that he does really interesting cadences. like the end, the closing song, like
Yeah.
Car
Yeah.
Crash. New Sensation is really fun, and he just kind of he knows the vibe, man. He's really good at setting the tone for
Yeah.
the song, and the drums and everything is so driving and fun. They have so many songs that sound like the drummer's just doing the "Hey Mickey, you're so fine" beat the whole time. To there's several songs like that on this record, and they just do that the whole time almost, and it's
Yeah, for sure.
so fun. This is a weirdly danceable record for how heavy and loud
Sometimes.
and yeah, sometimes I would say majority of the times. But dude, what would you rate this, man?
Well, I think now's the time to come clean and say that I'm not really a big fan of idols.
What, for real?
Really,
Has
I've
our whole friendship been a fucking lie?
look. I've listened to the EPs. I've listened to Meat. I've listened to like Joy as an Actor of Rebellion, or whatever. I've listened to Ultramono. Listened to this.
Didn't you
and-
really like Ultramono?
Yeah, I think that was probably my favorite record of theirs so far. But like there were a lot of moments on this record that I felt like, all right, it's another Idol song that's kind of doing the same thing
Sure.
that they've always been doing.
Yeah, they definitely stick to their guns a lot on this.
Yeah, like I think like King Snake and Stockholm were a couple of the ones that were like kind of blended in.
For sure. Yeah, I still liked him a lot, but yeah, I totally hear what you're saying.
But that being said, I love the drums. The vocalist is always fantastic on every song. He has such an iconic voice.
Oh,
Right.
man, yeah, Joe. I feel like this is weirdly Joe's breakout record, in my opinion.
I mean, it doesn't seem like he's ever tried to even go out of what he was doing on the first
Right.
records until now, where
Until
he's
now.
kind of doing some singing parts and some different flows in his lyrics.
He is top of his game on this record, no doubt.
It's very interesting how in the background the guitars are most of the time, and how like very few times there's a riff or chords on this album.
Yeah, yeah. There's remember like 9 songs in, we both got excited that there was a
It
riff.
was like meds. It was like a bass riff. Like
Hey, a riff.
it was like whoa, hey, what's up?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so wow, that's I did not know that you weren't a big Idols
Not
fan.
a-
You had me fooled.
Not a big Idols fan, but I'm gonna keep listening to what they put out. Because I'm interested to see where
Yeah.
they go. It doesn't seem like they're ever gonna be content being just this one trick pony.
Right.
They're gonna try to reach out further. But with that being said, right now I'm gonna give this album. I'm gonna give this album a 6.8 on my first listen.
Oh my god, we're gonna have such different ratings.
It's got some. They're a vibe, and not a vibe that I'm always clicking with, I guess.
Gotcha. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's super surprising. A little heartbreaking, to be honest.
I'm sorry, but I tried my best.
Yeah. Well, I'll get over it eventually. But
We'll see.
I'm probably on the opposite end of the spectrum. I love Idols. I absolutely love Idols. They're one of my favorite rock bands that I've heard in the last 10 years, 15 years. They're doing something really original.
I mean, they're definitely a band that you gotta respect in the modern age.
Yeah.
They're doing things
they're-
that bands like aren't really doing, if there even are many bands doing anything these days.
I can't think of anyone that sounds like Idols.
Yeah.
And that's something, there's something to be said about that. They're really heavy, really aggressive, really catchy. They're oddly fun to listen to. There's a lot of fun songs on this record, especially. Joe's voice was incredible on this record, and I definitely feel like this is his breakout album. I would not be surprised if he comes out with solo stuff after this. I loved everything about it. everything about this record, and
You're thinking of
I've
10?
loved it's. I mean, it is. It might be next to Ultramono. I have to go re-listen to Ultramono before I decide this, but this might be my favorite album by them.
Wow.
That I've
All
heard.
right.
Yeah. There was only a couple songs I didn't really like. I mean, actually, I take it back that there was nothing I didn't like about it. I didn't really like When the Lights Come On, but I've only heard that song once. I'm not very into post punk. They dived really deep into post punk on that song, and it's just kind of, it wasn't for me. And the opening track I thought was a little weak for an opening track.
I mean, here's the thing, bud. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys become the new definition of post punk.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they are redefining a genre right now, and they hate being called punk. I don't know why, but I definitely feel like
if the shoe fits,
they are post-hardcore or something. Yeah, the shoe fits, and these guys definitely are rocking it, dude. And yeah, so this album was amazing, and only a couple songs I didn't really like, but I feel like it's going to be the same thing that happened with Bad Bad Not Good. When we finally went back and listened to it again, we understood it.
Yeah.
And I feel like those songs are going to grow on me eventually, because this album's just too good, man. So I have to give it like a 9.2.
Wow, we've had a lot of albums that we've listened to, like the day they come out, that you've given 9s to, man.
Yeah, and that's kind of the deal with the first impression thing, that if I really like it at first, I mean, I'm just so fucking psyched on this album right now.
Yeah, right.
That I'm so it really blew me away, because before we went into it, I told you I want to hear something different from them, and I got what I love about Idols and I've always loved about them, and then they added all this really cool stuff to it that has just really pushed it over the top for me, man.
Well, dang, all right. Thank you all for listening to this shorty.
Yeah, what did you guys think? Listen to this record.
You know what? Why don't you comment in the comments below, wherever this video is? There's probably a comment section. If there's a rating section, go ahead and give it the biggest one.
Subscribe. Yeah, rate us the highest rating that they have on whatever you listen to, and we'll give you free entry to our Patreon.
That's right. Yeah, now we don't have a Patreon at the moment.
No, not technically.
And when we make it, you are going to have to subscribe with money.
Yeah, but me and Brett will pay you until then.
Yeah.
So
don't worry about that.
Just let us know what you thought of this record. Do you like Idols as much as I do, or are you, a fucking psycho like Brett and doesn't really like?
I gave it a 6.8.
Are you a psycho? Are you a psychopath too?
That's like
6.8 is pretty good for a band that you don't really like that much.
Check us out, EVPcast on Instagram, YouTube, Podbean. YouTube is kind of like where we're thinking you're gonna get the best experience from us, because we're trying to do more videos.
We're trying to film. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
Anywhere podcasts are found, we'll be there. And just thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, Brett, what would you rate this episode?
You know what? I'm gonna rate this episode a 9.2.
Oh, I'm gonna rate it a 9.222.
9.222.
Yeah, it's a little stronger than yours.
Okay, well that's fine.
It's fine. Well, thanks again, buddies. And Brett, this was good. This was
good. This was Lucas. Good. This was.
And a 1 and a 3 and a 2.